Don Peoples, Deadbolt. Let's talk about it. And yeah, man, let's get into this one. So, recently, my man Meek Mills just dropped the album Friday, Expensive Pain. Pretty dope album, man. I can't lie. Shout out to Meek Mills, the whole Dream Chasers. I think it was a pretty dope project. I was waiting for Meek Mills to come back in his bag. And I think he got back in his bag a little bit in this one. But this ain't really the point of the video. I mean, what really people is asking questions, wanting to know, why Rick Ross ain't standing next to Meek no more? It seemed like Meek is on his other wave where he messing with his billionaire Jewish and white boyfriends, and he fucking with Jay-Z and Rock Nation, Dirk and Baby, but we don't see him with Rick Ross. The one that gave him his opportunity, the one that stamped him, the boss, the biggest boss. It's the one that stamped him, gave him his shot. Now, obviously back at the time, Meek Mills was already signed to Grand Hustle, but he was shelved. Tip wasn't doing none with him, wasn't trying to do nothing with him, and Rick Ross came in and saved the day. Stamped him, put him on the Maybach Music, and the rest was history. But to answer everybody's question, where's Rick been? Where's Ross been? Man, Meek has become an ungrateful employee. And it's one of those situations where Meek feels at this time he's fulfilled his contract. And, the contract he signed at the time with Rick Ross was obviously a slave deal. You got to think, like I said, he was shelved by Tip. So for Rick Ross to give him that spotlight when he had all the light on him and to bring him over to Maybach Music, that was going to be a situation to where Rick was going to have to, say, okay, I'm going to bring you in, but this is the contract. And I think, for it to be damn near almost 10 years later and, you still signed under a contract that's obviously not the best move for you is a crazy situation to still be in. So Ross and Meek are at odds, but it started too with the Drake and Meek situation. I mean, with Ross not having his back and really, coming to his artist aid when Drake was pretty much finishing his career, eating them for lunch and then finished them for dinner. You know what I mean? And Ross kind of stayed quiet, remained neutral, and really didn't jump in and give any, like really he should have been all in for Meek. And for him to leave Meek out to dry, even though Meek was, I think, wrong for exposing Drake's hand, because that's something that's always going to stain Drake forever. Like, nobody will never forget that. Even if they forget about y'all beef, they'll never forget about what he said. So, I think for Ross not to come to his defense right there was a bad blow, and it was something that Meek felt it was real disloyal. And from that point, he was trying to really leave the situation. But the reason why I feel that Meek is like disgruntled about the situation is because of the contract, mainly. I mean, he's fed Ross 10 times over. He's made Maybach Music a lot of money. Hell, he's the only artist that's keeping it afloat and actually keeping the lights on. But in a sense, I think Meek kind of owes it to Ross because Ross was at the top of his game when he brought Meek in. I think Ross could have brought in anybody at that time. You know what I'm saying? Who had a little bit of a buzz or who had the charisma of a Meek Mill and could have made him a star. And I think for Meek to be at a point to where he doesn't even acknowledge Ross, they don't make music together no more. Allegedly with academics going with, they pulling pistols on each other. I mean, it's crazy where their relationship has went, but I do feel that you owe a little bit of loyalty to the one that brought you into the game, and not necessarily brought you in the game, but gave you the light, made you a star. This is, I think, something that could have been worked out behind the scenes for y'all to keep rocking. And I hate that every power group or label they fall out about the bread. Now I understand Rick Ross got a lot of expenses, hundreds of cars, wing stops, big boy mansions. I mean, all type of investments, liquor. You know, I understand that. Meek Mill is like an investment to him. Even though he probably got a dear friendship with him and feels in his heart that, I love Meek, but that's like an investment chip. Yeah, he can cash Meek out for his publishing, his masters, and everything else he owns. But for the long term, it makes more sense to continue to hold right now, you know? And it's nothing but good business. And Meek needs to respect that because it's not like Meek ain't sitting on M's. It's not like Meek is broke. He has his own imprint. He's over there at Rock Nation cutting business with them. He's still shaking and moving in the game. And as of right now, you can say he kind of hotter than Rick Ross as far as social media relevance. And, I just think Meek needs to be in a situation now where he like, okay, I might not have the best deal, but this is my man. This is the one that brought me in the game. I know we can sit down and restructure some things. But right now, I think it was an investment, obviously. And I know he probably looking at the situation with maybe how Yo Gotti and Moneybagg Yo move, where it's like, yo, niggas is really bosses and they ain't locked in the contracts and, stuff like that. But Meek, you came in before that era. Before that era exists where, niggas took pride on not taking money from people that they bring in through the door, so to speak. You came in before that era. It wasn't even streams at that time, really, when you came into the game. So it's a situation to where you can't hate where the game is now. And I think Ross will give you an opportunity to restructure what y'all got going on. But I just think trying to throw shade to him indirectly, because now it's obvious y'all don't fuck around. Even to the people who wasn't peeping what was going on. I've been peeping what was going on. And, I understand, I was going to put a picture of, the one homegirl who Meek was dealing with, the little stripper chick. That was the chick that Rick Ross ended up wifing. He ain't had no kid by or nothing like that. He got up out of the situation. But I feel like that was a little boy situation too. You feel me? Like that was a situation to where, okay, this is one of my hoes. I done smashed her. And you just gonna come behind me, little boy me, boss up on me, and take my little stripper chick. Even though this ain't my down bottom, it's still a situation to where like, man, really? So I don't think that was as big as the Drake situation. And then, the Nicki situation too was an ugly situation. You know what I mean? So I just think, man, Ross and Meek need to come together and try to squash the situation. But the reason why Meek is in a, well, I don't really want to deal with you type situation, because he really feels that Ross should finally try to do him a solid. Because every time it's been a chance for Ross to do him a solid, he ain't did it. You know what I'm saying? So he like, man, do me a solid. Release me from the contract. They having these discussions behind the scenes. They trying not to let it leak out, but I think the cat's out the bag. And it's sad that it's another hip-hop group, label, just breaking up and all over the bread, But it's just like, I think a lot of artists, man, need to be grateful. Just like how Drake, right? is grateful to Wayne, right? And Moneybagg is grateful to Yo Gotti. You know what I'm saying? These situations need to be forever lasting, you know, because these are the brothers that gave y'all an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It's millions of niggas that wish they was able to get next to Ross and for Ross to stamp him, especially when he was dropping that sauce, that BMF, that MC Hammer, you know, that Teflon Dawn shit, you know, and I just think, you know, it's a situation where Meek is waiting to expose Ross. You know, he's waiting, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if a diss record came out or, you know, some real, you know, heat on the track, I should say. You know what I mean? Because these dudes right here haven't been spotted in public kicking it with each other for a few years now. So obviously this situation is deeper than rap. But I don't knock Ross for holding on to his investment. And I don't knock Meek for feeling the way he feel, but I think at the end of the day, he made Meek a boss. Nobody looks at Meek as a worker or as a nigga under Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? You chopping up with billionaires at the brunches. You know, you making your moves, Meek. So I don't think you need to take this no further than what it need to go. Y'all need to squash that shit behind the scenes and try to keep it pushing, man. Y'all made good music together. Get back in that booth and do what y'all do, man. Because this right here is not looking good for either of y'all in the long scheme of things when it come to the legacy that y'all built. Because them MMG projects were solid, and we got to respect their place in history. But y'all get in the comment box, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Is Meek right about the situation, about how he should feel about Ross not releasing him from the contract, not having his back with the Drake situation, among other things? Or do you feel that Ross is justified to hold on to his investment and not just let him go or work out a deal with him right now at this time? I want to hear what y'all think, man. Y'all get in the comment box. Let me know what y'all on. Like, subscribe, share this video, man. Y'all hit the notification tab so y'all can tap in every time I drop one. It's your boy Don Peoples. Deadbolt. Gone.